Welcome back to the Live Better podcast, where we share tips and insights to help you take control of your finances and live your best life. I'm excited to introduce today's guest, Haleigh Murphy. Haleigh is joining us to talk about a topic that affects just about everyone. We're going to talk about credit card usage. We'll be diving into how using a credit card for your everyday monthly expenses can not only make life more convenient, but also help you earn valuable points and rewards along the way. Haleigh will walk us through smart strategies, common pitfalls to avoid, and how to make sure your credit card is working for you, not the other way around. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's welcome Haleigh Murphy to the Live Better podcast. So grab your coffee, folks, settle in. We are welcoming Haleigh Murphy to the Live Better podcast. Good morning, Haleigh. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm good.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. I always like to join in the podcast. So
yes. So this is your testimony of your everyday expenses. So you kind of do things a little different. I think you play both sides, though, not only just the credit card expenses or using a credit card for everyday expenses, but you also, too, kind of dive into using your checking account and leveraging those rewards as well. Is that true?
Yes, 100%. So for the majority of our transactions, we use our credit card, but we try to monitor how many swipes we're also getting on our checking account, just so that we can make sure we're getting those 12 swipes so that we're also earning rewards on our checking account.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss out on the credit card.
Yes, not at all.
You don't want to miss out on your checking account. And so something that's really cool, too, just so for our listeners to know, you want to kind of lean in and tell us about, so when you earn in your checking account, if you have an Earn Better checking account, you're earning 4.15% up to $20,000, and your dividends that you earn throughout the month will be transferred over automatically into your savings account. So do you have your account set up that way?
Yes, 100%. So, and then the other point of that is once those funds roll into your savings account, then you're also earning 4.1% on balances up to $50,000. So you're earning in your checking account, and then once it swaps over to your savings account, then you're still earning money on those funds. So
4.15 in your checking and 4.01 in your savings.
Yep,
that is
right.
So cool. I love it. Okay, so take us through, because there are some interesting conversations, I think, around credit cards and how to use them. Many people, will use a debit card, for it. We hear a lot of folks say that's just kind of what I use from day to day. But I'm curious, what are some benefits really if you switch your everyday transactions from using a debit card to a credit card?
So for me, the main thing is the rewards that I earn. So with Centric's credit card, I earn 1 point for every dollar that I spend. And then there's certain times throughout the year that they'll actually pay you 2 points for every dollar that you spend. So it's double rewards. And for me, I feel like, we worked our whole life for our money. I want it to work for me a little bit. And so that's one of the main reasons. And then also, I feel like it's a little bit more secure. Using my credit card, I feel like those funds are a little bit more protected as far as being from like a credit card. And then just having all, as far as security purposes, having that saved in all of my, like on my apps and like different products that I use, having it saved with my credit card versus my debit card information.
So that's a really good segue into the next thing I want to talk about. So when you think about your different expenses, things like, fuel for your vehicle or groceries or little stops here and there, a Target run or something. Do you have your credit card set up for things like your recurring expenses like subscriptions and online purchases?
Yes. So I think when we kind of have the conversation about credit cards, there's kind of like a negative connotation of like you have to be really careful when you're using your credit card. And I definitely agree with that. So what my family we've done, we've found that like I only use my credit card on things that I know that I'm going to be spending anyway. So I'm not using it as additional income because that's where I feel like you could really get in a bind.
Yes.
But like on things that I know that I'm going to be paying anyway, I just use my credit card so that I'm earning those rewards. So for example, our vehicle, like we have it set up to where my notes come off of my credit card versus out of my account, so that it's just stuff that I'm already earning. Like my daycare automatically drafts off of my credit card because that's a very significant chunk that I'm earning rewards off of. Groceries, so I have my groceries delivered. I know that's terrible, but
Not terrible. It's very efficient for a working mom
yes,
like you.
100%.
Yes.
So, my credit card is connected to my Walmart app so that all of the groceries that I buy is automatically, I'm earning rewards on. So anything that I know that I'm going to be spending that I'm already accounted for within my budget
Sure.
is what I'm using my credit card for. I definitely don't recommend using your credit card for things that we wouldn't buy in
Yes.
off of your checking account anyway. Like you don't want to go in and say, well, I need a whole new wardrobe. I'm just going to put it on my credit card. That's definitely not what you want to do.
There you go.
But just things that you're already going to be spending money on.
Sure.
It's kind of how we utilize that.
I love it because you're exactly right, Haleigh, in saying this. You're maximizing those rewards. Those are large expenses that you have that you know that are going to happen every single month. And what a way for you to really maximize and leverage that. You think about the amount of points that you get every single month just from those very large expenses. And another point that I think is so great, which I think is very telling for what you do in your professional career, teaching people how to really live better through managing their finances, through everyday expenses. So I love that you've said we don't want to allow that credit card to say, hey, here's additional income.
Right.
Here's another, here's something else that you can do to just leverage this because you're interested in, a shopping spree or there's a big sale somewhere. Yes, for emergencies, I think they're great. Kind of take me through that, every month, ensuring that is your credit card paid off every month? If it's not, what does that look like for you?
Yes. So for us, our budget is pretty spot on with how I monitor. So I really recommend that you have an app that you're monitoring weekly, if not daily.
Yes.
So that you can, as you're spending those transactions, you're also looking at your checking account and saying, okay, well, I know that I have the funds in my checking account to pay off my credit card because, like I said, we're monitoring to make sure that we're not spending anything that we wouldn't spend anyway. So at the end of the month, we pay our card off completely.
I love it.
And that's what we have found that works best for us. That way, we're still growing our credit. We're not hindering that in any capacity. We're not getting any kind of negative remarks on our credit by utilizing our credit cards as our debit card, basically.
Yes.
And then just making sure that our budget is still on point throughout the month.
I love that. That is so great. And that is such great advice. And Haleigh, I know I've known you for nearly a decade now, and I count myself as very honored, and it's just an honor to know you. I love and admire what you do with your family from a financial standpoint, the way that you have set a standard, you and your husband have set a standard, because you've got a very lovely story. I love to hear you share this information, and the way that you have paid cash, but you have worked sometimes 2-3 jobs when you were a lot younger,
Yes.
But you established a savings because that was critical to you.
Oh, yes, ma'am, 100%.
And I think you continue on with that same mindset, which has led you to today.
Oh, yes, ma'am, 100%. I definitely credit all of that just to kind of my youth and growing up a certain way that I never want to live again,
Yeah.
So kind of attributed all of that to our financial goals and just our strategies of how we live day to day, 100%.
So listeners, I know that she would definitely not brag and say this, but I'm going to do it for her. But just in talking about, she's sharing with you guys the things that she and her husband do that has proven itself you've been very lucrative. You've been very successful from a financial standpoint. I think that because of the choices that you make day in and day out, you're very mindful of saving for tomorrow. We don't know what comes for tomorrow, even if tomorrow will come, but you're very responsible from a financial standpoint and really making your finances work for you. One of the things that you said, that you work hard for your money and you want your money to work hard for you.
That's right.
So I just want to celebrate as we're kind of wrapping up this information too for you is just, looking at what you've accomplished, just here in the most recent couple weeks, you've purchased a new home.
Yes. Yep.
So you've moved up in home. This is your second home that you've purchased.
Well, yes, it's actually our third home that we've purchased.
Okay. See, think about that. But that's
yes,
wonderful.
100%. So we've just kind of moved up slowly but surely, with the size and land and different things like that. But 100%. I attribute that just to hard work and dedication, especially like with my husband and I. Like you mentioned earlier, when we first got married, we both worked 2 jobs for 3 years. So it's just kind of putting in that work towards your goals and just having your goals in mind and knowing what you're wanting and then really sticking to that. I tell people all the time, it's okay to pivot a little bit, like life happens.
Yes.
So that's, understandable if you're like, I'm working towards this goal, but then my car breaks down. Okay, well, we need to fix that first before we continue on our goal of whatever our large purchase was. But just knowing what your goal is and then just sticking to that. As best as possible is really...
Absolutely. Because life's going to hit you in so many different ways, right? So, there could be emergencies that come up, children are sick, or you just never know what's going to happen. And that can kind of wreck your budget. But that's why I think it's so important to have like an emergency savings set aside so you can kind of lean into that versus a credit card where you're going to be charged interest if you're not paying that off every month. So, I love your story. I think it's so great. I want our listeners to really lean into it's slow and steady wins the race every time.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be consistent. Pay yourself first every month, ensuring that, that you cover that debt. If you are charging something on your credit card and you're not 100% positive that you can pay it off, that's a no. You agree or disagree with that?
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we see members a lot of times that get into a bind with that, where they maybe overspend, and then it just kind of starts from there, and it just kind of melted, just creates this huge mountain of debt.
Yep, 100%. And I think people sometimes get in the mindset of like, once that first mistake is made, they're like, well, I've already got the debt. It is what it is. When that's the opposite of how we should think and look.
Yes.
We should really focus on the debt that we have and try to pay that off prior to making any additional commitments.
Absolutely. I love it. So something I really want to lean into about our credit card program that we have here at Centric is that this is something that there's no annual fee.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that. I think that's great. We're one of the only credit cards that offers rewards at no annual fee. And so it's very easy to apply. You can apply online or you can visit any of our centers. We have instant issue credit cards. So the day that you apply and are approved, if you are approved, then you will receive your credit card same day. So that's cool.
Yep, I love that because So I've gotten in a very bad habit of when I get out of my car, I just get my keys and my credit card.
Yes.
And then I stick it in my pocket. And then I'm like, okay, well, I know that it's somewhere in my house.
Yeah.
And so I love that I'm just able to go to a center and be like, can you print me a new card, please?
Yes, that is wonderful. And you upload it to your phone so you can just tap to pay to. So that's incredibly convenient. So, Haleigh, any final words?
No, I don't think so. I feel like we've kind of covered everything. Just thank you so much for letting me join you today. I really enjoyed it.
It's an honor to have you. It's an honor to know you, and it's an honor to work with you. Most importantly, I value you as a member. Without members like you, we wouldn't make it. And so we're just so grateful. Thanks so much for helping our listeners live better.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much to Haleigh for joining us today and sharing her experience with using a credit card for monthly expenses. We love hearing how our members are making smart money moves in their everyday lives. Remember, these are personal opinions and experiences, not official advice from Centric. If you'd like to learn more about managing credit cards wisely or exploring Centric's credit card options, be sure to check out the resources on our website at mycentric.org. Thanks again for listening to the Live Better podcast. Until next time, keep taking small steps towards living better every day. Centric is federally insured by the NCUA.